Thank you for watching NR News. This is Nicholas Roberts. Stay tuned for our latest updates. Maneuvering rough tides is second nature for fishermen, but a 12-member Guyanese crew being held captive in Venezuela is possibly in for the challenge of their lives, as they have been charged and imprisoned pending a 45-day investigation. The fishermen who were operating their trade along the Guayani River in two groups of 6 on the Lady Nayera and Seawolf vessels were apprehended by Venezuelan naval troops.
As President of our beloved country, my single most important responsibility is to keep the Guyanese people safe. It is the first thing I think about when I wake in the morning. It is the last thing on my mind at night. And my working day is consumed by it. But I want no mistake about it. My government is doing all in its power to vigorously protect our people's health and our country's territorial integrity.
This act of intrusion by Venezuela was condemned by local authorities, which have substantiated claims that boat vessels, which were operating off the coast of the Guayani Point within Guyana's exclusive economic zone, were intercepted by the Venezuelan naval vessel Comandante Hugo Chavez G324 on Thursday, January 21st, 2021. According to information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Captain Richard Ramnarine of the Lady Nayera and Captain Tony Garraway of the Seawolf, after being apprehended in the Guayani area, were instructed to chart a course for Port Guiria in Venezuela, where both vessels, which were registered in Essequibo, and the 12-member crew, who hail from Essequibo, have been detained. The crew members of the Seawolf included Garraway, Errol Gardner, Orland Roberts, Christopher Shaw, Shervin O'Neill, and Randy Henry, while the crew members aboard the Lady Nayera were Ramnarine, Ramlakan Kamal, Nick Ragubar, Jevin Boston, Michael Domingo, and Joel Joseph. NR News has been made to know that these detained Guyanese fishermen have been accused of having protected hammerhead shark among their catch. Early on Monday, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Hugh Todd met with Kumar Lal Bachchan and the other boat owner, during which he conveyed the government's commitment towards lobbying for the release of the crew and vessels. The foreign minister also provided the owners with an update on the government's efforts, including the issuance of a statement condemning the recent actions of Venezuela and the transmission of a note verbal in protest of the Venezuelan Navy's actions. We are doing all within our power to reunite the crew members with their families and help you to continue with your business, the minister said. The foreign minister pledged to remain in contact with the owners and share updates as they occur. The government of Guyana considers the abduction of Guyanese fishermen a wanton show of aggression by the Venezuelan armed forces against Guyana and Guyanese citizens. This Venezuelan action amounts to an interference with the sovereign rights of Guyana in its exclusive economic zone, contrary to international law, the foreign minister said. Minister Todd called in the chargé d'affaires of the Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Moses Chavez, early morning to transfer the protest note from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Guyana to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Venezuela. The protest note firmly condemns the illegal detention of the captains and crew of the Guyanese registered fishing vessels, the Lady Nayera and the Seawolf, and calls for their immediate release. Minister Todd used the opportunity to voice his concerns on the matter and noted that the actions coming out of Caracas is distasteful. The minister further added that based on longitude and latitude, the two vessels were well within Guyana's territory. The minister highlighted the regional zone of peace and called for Venezuela to operate in a manner consistent with international rule of law. You see, this position was also relayed by Minister Todd to Venezuela's Foreign Affairs Minister Jorge Arreaza, during a virtual meeting on Monday. The discussion was described as cordial. According to a press statement from Guyana's Foreign Affairs Ministry, both ministers exchanged views within the context of the detention of the vessels and crew. The Venezuelan foreign minister assured that the crew members were being treated with utmost respect for their human rights. At the request of the foreign minister Todd, Minister Arreaza undertook to pursue their early release. Both foreign affairs ministers agreed to the importance of mutual respect in relations between the two countries. Each family member of detained fishermen, when contacted by their publication, said they were eagerly awaiting the return of their relatives because in some cases they are the sole breadwinner of the house. The government of Guyana has demanded their immediate release. Moreover, the Commonwealth, CARICOM, United States of America, and Canada have all signaled their full support of Guyana in this ongoing border controversy, which is before the International Court of Justice. Guyana is seeking to obtain a final and binding judgment that the 1899 arbitral award, while established the location of the land boundary between the then British Guyana and Venezuela, remains valid, and that the Essequibo region belongs to Guyana and not Venezuela. Most recently, the ICJ on December 18th, 2020 ruled that it has jurisdiction to hear the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy case. It was reported that Guyana is confident that the International Court will resolve the issue in its favor, and that this will also settle the issue of maritime rights in the adjacent sea and seabed. But under international law, this is now for the ICJ to decide. Thank you for watching NR News. This is Nicholas Roberts. Stay tuned for our latest updates.